Oh, it feels like winter. It feels like winter here in Florida. Happy Sunday, chilly, Monday, Sunday scarf on because it's so cold. Everyone, welcome back to our weekly live stream where we get to hang out with you. If you're joining us real time live at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I'm going to have to send you the invite, aren't I? So that you can send it.
To who? It's already done.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. How's everybody doing this evening? Jeremy usually likes to start the live off with a song, but we're going to take a pause. I hope everyone is staying warm. It is a bit chilly out here. and we are going to have an awesome, epic auction tonight. If you haven't downloaded the Whatnot app yet, what the hells are you waiting for? We've pinned the link in the comment section. So if you look in the comment section and even in the description of each video, you'll see the invite link where you get $15 off your first purchase. Take it away, Jeremy.
Well, I said, well, I moved into a town with no one around, all to get away from the snow.
I keep hearing snow's coming this way. It hit Georgia already.
I hear a lot of things from a lot of liars. We'll see what happens. Well, I put in a 2-inch line and everything was fine until they tried to steal all my dough. Mary was in town hall. She couldn't do math at all. Just kept calling the law. Sending emails to her, hoping he confirmed that no one would know about her flaws. Now I didn't jump. They're running their con, trying to get any money they can. Everything around them dies, and then she fake cries. They'll end up in a river, by a river in a van. There were signs all over town, but now they're taken down. Everybody knows who done it. Don't do the crime if you can't do the time. They're living in a shed with no permit. Now Russ was texting down. He was telling them it's on. Let's give the world a show. We always wanted fame, and now they know our name. In the meetings, always vote no. They're all making friends. Fans are taking bets. Who's gonna be the next in jail? Will it be Deuce, Russ, or Don? Lynette or John?
Again, because he's already been in jail once.
We just know it won't be what the hell. Just know it won't be what the hell. Just know it won't be what the hell. 'Cause I'm moving to a town.
Oh, this is the extended version.
No one around, all to get away from the snow. I put in a 2-inch line, everything was fine, until they tried to steal all my dough.
Give it up for Jeremy.
I'm gonna get Jeremy. Court. He doesn't want the jury to give me $1 million.
What does that even mean?
Can she predict the future?
Can she predict the future?
Well, let's see. How many predictions have not come true so far? But by the way, we have learned a whole nother name for Lynette.
For real?
Oh boy, so much is going on. So much is going on.
Just when we thought we knew, I guess we don't know now.
We're going to have to bring on some special help here tonight because there are so many people coming forward in so many facets. As a matter of fact, part 2 of my deposition has legally and professionally been released, and there are those that are going over the deposition. Now, I lived it. It's not something I want to go over on the channel. I do find it awkward. You know what? I'll address that later, but I do find it, well, you know, I'll address it now. Somebody who's being added to the lawsuit and who is publicly posting, and Megan should not get creative with her, should get creative with her own content instead of continuously stealing my content. Now, I'm not a lawyer, but that sounds like an outright admission of guilt that the only thing they're doing this for is for content. Now, the other thing that has happened today, boy, so much has happened today. I got a text from an individual that was at the HJC event, which was live streamed and put out on a video on another channel as well.
Oh, the same one where the child was threatened to get
Yes.
thrown in the shed for being a child.
And this individual is communicating to me as a friend who is a part of the biker group that was there. So he's communicating to me as a friend, not particularly the biker group, but did share with me adamantly. You know what? Before I share, I should state this. As soon as I got the message, I made a phone call and I said, "Are you okay with me sharing this publicly?" And this individual stated that I would like to remain anonymous. And I said, "No, not a problem at all. Not a problem at all." And I said, "Are you okay with me sharing everything with my legal team?" She said, "Absolutely." Or he said, maybe it was a he, maybe it was a she. What I can confirm is the biker club knows everything that's going on now. They know everything about Gabe and Lisa's past. They know everything about Lynette and Crook. And they want, again, I can only speak for one individual, but they want nothing to do with these individuals ever again. Well, the one individual who was speaking to me, again, that individual communication can only be used from that individual, but that individual is willing to testify and is willing to share with my legal team the tremendous amount of yelling and screaming and verbal inappropriateness with the child at this event. And that this person included, the club wanted to leave. They didn't even want to be there anymore because of it. So that was rather interesting. And then, Greta, thank you so much. And then when other individuals, this is the funniest part, you got the walruses with Deuce inappropriately, unethically, online discussing a case and stating that he would have to prove that people stopped giving him money. Well, that actually prompted people to start emailing us. And here's one right here. I'll just share one right now. This is one. Notice while watching some live streams and reading the depot that Deuce thought you needed a client's word saying they no longer supported your YouTube auctions or channel. And because of LP and JC's comments are posting, I think I can be that person. If you look up my information in the past, I purchased quite a substantial amount from you. But since everything they said against you, I stopped purchasing. I'm sorry, I'm a pacifist, and I try and stay away from this drama. And to end this conversation short, I'd be willing to testify for your defense against Deuce's allegations in court. By the way, that's not the only person that has come to the light. We'll call it the light, has stepped out of the darkness and has come to the light. I wonder what we're auctioning tonight. I know what we're giving away. $100.
$100 Visa gift card, which could be used anywhere that accepts Visa, fuel, food, maybe even utility bills.
And next Sunday, we're giving away over $1,500 in free gold. You can even save hamsters tonight. How many hamsters have been saved so far?
Thank you, Joan. I believe 1, 2, 3, 4, and then tonight will be 5.
Whoa, is that Megan Fox?
Hello.
And you see what you started with hamsters.
I've seen it's a disaster. It's a total disaster. My entire Twitter feed is just full of memes of me as a hamster. By the way, Jeremy, I just got one of you. I will.
Oh, did you? We got to see this. We got to see it.
It's really funny. How should I send this to you? I'm trying to think what's the easiest way. Your phone, probably.
I mean, I would just put it right up in the camera and show the planet. Show the planet. Just do it. I ain't scared. Oh my goodness.
It's Jimmy as a hamster.
As a hamster, I had a hamster. His name was Elvis. My parents got me a hamster for Christmas one Christmas when I was a little kid, and within a day it died. So,
Aw,
I don't want to talk about this
I
tonight.
can
This is
relate.
very sad.
I don't want to talk about
I don't
it.
want to talk about this
This is
tonight.
very
But you
sad.
can save Megan's hamster and make sure it doesn't die tonight.
It's true. You can
Yeah.
do that. I guess at Whatnot, right?
Yeah, we're gonna have an incredible whatnot auction after all of this.
We got to come up with George. We got to come up with an adoption certificate. I'll sign it and everything.
Yes, let's do it.
So you can adopt Megan's hamster and save it.
Like
That's,
the Cabbage Patch Kids. Remember?
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll send you a template and then you can sign it and send it back.
I will do it.
Megan, for those that don't know, what's your profession?
I'm a journalist. I've been a journalist for 20 years now, at least.
Wow.
Yeah, it's been
Okay.
a long time.
And you cover a lot of trials, right?
I do. I started covering family court about 15 years ago, possibly, and then that got so heavy and so sad with the type of issues that I was dealing with, like really dark stuff.
Yeah.
Some of the stuff that's in this case. So it's too bad. I try to get out, but it keeps sucking me back in, And so I was doing that for a long time, and then I took a break because I was really getting like PTSD from it, really, because there was too much abuse, too much trauma, too much really dark stuff you can't say on YouTube. And so I took a break and I started doing celebrity trials, and I decided, hey, you know what, I'm going to cover Johnny Depp. And that's when my channel really started to take off. My channel is actually 14 years old, if you can believe that. I have my YouTube channel turned 14 this year. And a lot of it was like I was doing public meetings, showing people how to do FOIAs, showing people how to talk to public bodies. And that was all very boring. No one cares about that. But then we started doing celebrity trials. Johnny Depp, I covered Gwyneth Paltrow, covered Maya Kowalski. And that's a lot more fun. I'll tell you what. I mean, although that one was really sad too. A lot of abuse there too. But, and it's just kind of snowballed from there. This case, though, has turned into probably one of the most important and interesting cases that I've ever seen. I can't stop.
The Hale's case.
Yeah. I am.
I
can't stop.
Crafty Jen just sent a super chat and said, if you need another name for the nutcase neighbor, how about CryNet? How about you share or if you're comfortable sharing that you have uncovered a brand new name that she used to go by?
I did just today. So
Yes.
I have sources in Northport contacting me all the time. This was a different source I just started talking to. Actually, she sent me a ton of stuff over the last couple months, like maybe the last month or so. And it's so much information. I've just been cataloging it all and organizing it all. I have not released any of it. Some of this stuff you guys have seen maybe on Facebook. Some people are putting it out. That didn't come from me. I have it, but I've been trying to organize it all and I've been trying to match it up to a timeline. What I'm uncovering is just absolutely unbelievable. So today I finally had time to reach out to this source. And what she told me, and this was someone who was very close to Lynette Michelle, LMNOP, whatever, very close for a very long time there, and even helped her with her adoption, and has a lot of information and is, and I've got a bombshell. I've had a theory for a while about this case, but that theory was just given a big boost by this witness who says that Lynette introduced herself to everyone there as Ruby.
What?
Not only introduced herself, Crook would call her Ruby as well.
Yes.
Wow.
And this person, the source worked with her very closely, helped her with her adoption, and then started to question her when she started telling everyone that the baby was very sick. And this person who was with her all the time saw the baby and said, I don't think so. I think she seems very normal and fine. And when Ruby told her what the issue was, the alleged metabolic disorder, the source said, well, that's strange. My son has the same disorder. So let's talk about this. Do you have a nutritionist? You shouldn't have left the hospital without one. She didn't have a nutritionist. Do you have a specialist? Did you get a special formula made? Because the baby has to be on a special formula. To her knowledge, she said she didn't think she did. She didn't have one. And she kept saying, no, I just have to watch the baby's diet and she'll be fine. So she kept
pause right there, because that blows my mind, because the story leaving Northport and coming to Otter Creek was what about the child, George?
That a simple fever can unalive the child, and that she needed to isolate her away from
life-threatening disease,
a life-threatening disorder.
Oh,
and
disorder.
Anything can unalive the child.
Okay.
Well, according to the source, the story changed when talking to someone who had a lot of knowledge about this metabolic disorder. And the source pressed her for medical records. She said, I really need to see what your doctor showed you or told you, because I think he's wrong. I think whoever told you this is wrong. She was still operating under the opinion that maybe it was the doctor was wrong. Said, I want to see the medical records. Bring me the medical records. And Lynette refused to bring them, wouldn't show her. It took months. And then finally she showed her some papers. And the source says that the papers she saw were obviously fabricated, made no sense, and did not say what Lynette said they said. And she felt that they were tampered with. So at that point, the source confronted her about it, said, I don't believe that this baby is sick, and I think you're making it up. And I think that you're doing it to raise money. And I think you're doing it to get GoFundMes and sympathy and everything else. And that's when Lynette did what she always does. She turned on her. She started posting terrible things about her and never spoke to her, tried not to speak to her ever again. Now, she has reached out to her since then. And we did see a cease and desist from the source saying, don't contact me anymore. Interestingly, the source has also filed 3 bar complaints against Bruce.
The Bucinator!
As of this week. I'd be really curious. This guy has crossed every ethical boundary there is. How many individuals have filed complaints? I wouldn't be shocked if the magistrate even went, whoa. Like I've been listening to you and Tug and Shizzy going over the depot, and it's funny that the hate channels, they don't want to talk about how Deuce is reprimanded by the magistrate. They want to gloss over that, and they only want to read what Deuce highlighted for them instead of actually giving everything in context, in its reality. What's your take on all of this deposition? Oh, this deposition is great fun. It's very funny. First of all, I love the judge. I got to tell you, this judge, he's so funny. His potted plant analogy has spurred an entire, some major creativity. Someone just sent me this. I want to show you. It's so funny. Him saying that he's just a potted plant. He just wants to be a potted plant. That's it.
This was after he told Deuce, and he specifically said it in response to Deuce, that he will have them come and he will get locked up today. And then, just like we do with our kids when we have multiple kids, and that goes for all of you, even though it was directed towards Deuce. And so then we go into the actual courtroom, and then he says it, I just want to be a potted plant. And he starts it. You saw in the deposition, he starts it and says, if I have to pull this, if I have to use my authority, I will use it today. And that is towards Deuce yet again.
Yeah. And, him saying, I just want to be a potted plant. I don't know if you can share my screen, but this is so funny. Someone just tagged me on this on Twitter. This is their AI rendition of Judge Polito. The ladies like him, you know, they really do. They've been making AI pictures of Judge Bolitho as a potted plant. But it really cracked me up that he said, I just want to be a potted plant. I don't want to be involved. And he said about, oh gosh, 20 times, I don't want to intervene. But if I have to intervene, I will intervene. But don't make me intervene. I don't want to intervene. I will, and I don't ask me to intervene either. If I need to intervene, I will do it, but don't you ask me. Now, I did notice that Bruce did ask him like a couple of times to intervene, and the judge ignored him completely. He just said nothing. But when the judge did get out of his little potted plant, he shook off the dirt. He was like, stop it. Stop it, Bruce. I thought that it was hilarious. First of all, I've never seen a deposition ever that was done in front of the judge as a babysitter, especially a federal judge who has so much else to do than sit there and babysit an attorney who doesn't know how to run a deposition. And he had to tell him multiple times how to ask a question. He had to tell him multiple times not to interrupt you. He only said something to you one time. He just said, oh, okay, that's enough. You've answered it. But he didn't fuss at you. He fussed at Bruce quite a lot. He said, don't ask an open-ended question if you don't want a long-winded answer. How about that? Ask a yes or no question if you want a yes or no answer. It's so elementary. It's embarrassing. It's one of the most embarrassing depositions for an attorney I've ever read, and I've read hundreds of them.
I got to tell you, I've never seen anything so, as you said, elementary. I mean, so juvenile, so childish as this individual who can't see past his own huge nose.
That could be part of the problem.
Courtroom and wiping as much.
He was wiping. He had a cloth, and he was wiping the entire time. Now, when we were on Zoom, he was rocking back and forth and wiping, and kept taking paper towels and wiping. In the courtroom, he was at the actual podium, and he wasn't rocking back and forth, but he was wiping like crazy. And the response is allergies. You don't go from up north and come down south into Florida in the winter and have allergy issues. That is the most ridiculous response I have ever heard. Yeah.
Well, he might have chronic rhinitis. I mean, who knows? You know, it's a big enough nose. It might have a lot of different internal issues. Who knows? But I do think that his inability to keep him to ask a question. That's another thing. His questions are very hard to comprehend.
You can't ask one.
They're very difficult. There were times where we laugh at what he asked, but there are times when you're saying, can you rephrase that? We're all like, can we read that again? What even did he say?
He's that incompetent. He's that incompetent.
He doesn't seem to be on the level of attorneys I've covered previously. We'll put it that way. Okay. He does not seem to be someone who has a lot of experience maybe in this type of case. I hear that he's looking for more attorneys in the Miami area and in Florida. He wants more attorneys to take on some more cases that he plans on filing. Now, he's been threatening me with lawsuits. He's threatening the biological families attorneys with lawsuits. He is threatening people on Facebook with lawsuits. I just got a new text today. Oh my gosh, look at this. I just got this today. It is from, hold on, I'm getting a kid raid. It is from somebody on Facebook that said that Bruce had threatened to call their employer. And it was based on something that she had said, basically just made a comment on Facebook, right? And then he says that he's going to reach out to her employer, that he said, you're sick and you don't even realize it. It's a child. If you have a regular job, you'd lose it over this. She responded to him, I do have regular jobs. If you would pay attention to any of my previous posts, I've already talked to both bosses. My first boss thought it was odd that there are people crazier than me. And the second boss said, whatever. So have a great day.
I bid you good day. Yeah, the insanity of this. I would not call him a man by any stretch of the imagination. Coward. I would definitely call him a coward. And I have a few other choice words for him as well. I can only imagine the embarrassment that his family is going to have long term because of this. Yeah.
Yeah. His, I don't know. I don't know what's up with him, but I do know now that there are 3 bar complaints filed in Florida. And the Florida bar has received that. It has received the complaint. At least Florida has responded and asked, they've asked for more information and they got it today. So we will see what happens. Now, Connecticut is the Connecticut bar seems really, I don't know, hard to deal with. But it was also sent to the Massachusetts bar. So I'm sure Bruce will be getting notified that all 3 of those went in this week. I'm going to read them at some point to the audience, probably maybe on Tuesday. It's not that long of a letter, so I may have time. But I do have a big show on Tuesday that I need to prepare for.
So let's segue into that. So one of the things that George and I, what did we cover last Sunday? You remember?
So last Sunday, if you tuned in, if you haven't tuned in, go back and watch it. But last Sunday, we covered how the woman that allegedly is handling all of the funds and donations for Lynette and Crook, her supposed husband, ex-husband, she doesn't share a last name with him, is a convicted felon 2 times.
2 felonies.
2 felonies. Yep. Has a ton of restitution to pay because he took advantage of not only an elderly senior citizen man with a job that he didn't complete or do, and then he took advantage of a hurricane victim, which was a female. And so restitution is still to be paid, and there's no transparency of where all these donations are coming from. And she has a history of being evicted 7+ times.
8, but she claims it was all the same place. It's all the same place. If you get evicted 8 times, I'm a landlord.
If you're getting evicted multiple times,
I'm 47. I've been a landlord since the age of 21. I've shared with everybody. You want to generate wealth in your life? Property, real estate. The government gives you more tax deductions than anything else. Real estate is where. That's how you get rich, okay? And I'm not, no means rich, no means, but you can acquire and you can build wealth that way. And being a landlord, somebody gets evicted 8 times, that's a scam artist. That's a con. That's somebody who's not paying their bills and damaging people who need that money to feed their families. And so we stated that we were going to dig into her actual history this Sunday, but you and I were communicating and you were like, hey, I'm going to do a big show on Tuesday. And I was like, you know what, Megan, just get it, hit it out of the park. Like, turn it on.
And it's funny because in looking further, and the only reason why this became relevant to me, I had heard about these evictions. I even had some of the paperwork for months.
We've had it the entire time. Our legal team has had it. It was all going to come up in court. They're passed. We haven't touched it. We've glanced.
Yeah, I didn't either. And I listened to her explanation and I thought, well, everybody has at the time I only thought it was like 2. And
but here's the explanation though. The explanation is, oh, it's just a misunderstanding. And then to be so arrogant, to be so narcissistic, to be so bold and go ahead and dig. And I went, all right, we have it all already.
She did invite the entire
You invited the planet to dig. Now, obviously, we had it. You had it. I mean, you got some of it from us. Admittedly, you've had it from us, and you probably found some of your own as well. So you've had it.
I did.
You've had it, and you've gotten it in multiple different ways. But to literally so boldly
keep sending me stuff every day.
And
actually,
that's how we were able to discover that she goes by multiple names and aliases as well.
Just like Ruby.
Just like Ruby. LMNOP.
And so for someone to get evicted multiple times, they are the last person that should be managing any money.
But George, she was on the road with musicians. Somehow that means you don't have to pay your bills.
Yeah, that's what made it relevant. That's what made it relevant to me was that we have this donor, right, who came forward and said he wanted some transparency. He wanted transparency about what was going on with the money. And that transparency was not offered to him, even after the people raising the money said if a donor asked for transparency, they would be happy to give it to them. Well, that didn't happen. And that was a giant red flag to me. I had my questions about it. I had had my questions about it before then. But I decided to not really go down that road until there was a reason to. And after a donor comes forward and says, I want to know where my money went, and the answer is not to be transparent, but the answer is to say, I'll just give the money back then and not tell you anything, is crazy to me. It's crazy. It's a giant red flag. And the public deserves to know that if someone is running a fundraiser and they have a very concerning past when it comes to finances and paying their bills and being honest with money, the public deserves to know that. This is a public concern. This is always a public concern. And the authorities, by the way, in Florida,
there you go.
ought to be looking into this.
The authorities need to know as well.
They need to be looking into this. And so in gathering this evidence for, what are the histories of these people who have access to these funds, I imagine that Lisa and her husband, they have probably a connected bank account. And if that's the case, you have a convicted felon who's on probation. Just happened this August, by the way. And
they want to say like it's all a mistake. It's all an accident. It's all a misunderstanding. It was years ago. He's changed.
And just tested positive for Ruggs in April, right? It was April.
Strong rugs. And she wants to claim, he was smoking something and it was laced. No. He was put under a test, a P test, unknowingly that it was going to happen, and then went, okay, well, I did.
And he admitted that in the paperwork.
It's all in the paperwork.
It's all in the paperwork. He also admitted to scamming these senior citizens. So so I felt that it was time for the public to hear that, even though I'd had it for a long time, because at the time it was just like, I didn't see a reason. But with this donor coming forward and saying, where's the money? And then people being concerned about where's their money. Well, now it's my responsibility to tell them. You're dealing with people who have one who's been convicted of taking people's money, the other who's been in at least civil. I mean, squatting is a crime. She hasn't been charged with the crime, although one time she was charged, but they dropped it. She was charged with doing it on purpose, on fraud, like renting a place in order to defraud someone by not paying the rent. Now, the prosecutor dropped that, and we'll go over that on Tuesday a little bit to see if we can find out why. So far, it's not clear why. Probably because of settlement. A lot of these prosecutors they'll
throw a settlement out of you just to get it out of the courtroom.
Yeah, to get it out, because they have murderers to deal with. They have bigger crimes to deal with. And so they're not really going after serial squatters. But this is a very troubling past, and people should know about it, because if they're going to be, and they keep running new fundraisers, and while telling you all the while, we're not PR. We're not
fundraising.
We're not fundraising.
Come up. Here's how you live.
She said, I never asked anyone for money. She's the one asking for money. Well, yeah, for my show, I do ask for money. Of course, for my show, it goes back into my show. It supports my family. It's my job, my show. It's an entertainment. You like it, you pay for it. You don't like it, you don't. That's fine. Can't afford it, you get it for free. It's perfect. But in their case, this has been a nonstop. There's been nonstop fundraising using a little girl, exploiting a little girl, saying she's sick, which I'm not sure is true. And a bunch of people, you all ought to be asking now. Everybody out there ought to be asking, where is the proof that the child is actually sick? Where are the doctor's records? Where are the doctor's reports?
People are coming forward.
Where are the doctor's reports? Because the people in Northport already confronted her about this years ago and said, we don't think this child is sick. We think you're using this child, making this child having these problems so that you can grift off us, so you can take more money from us. And now what do we have going on over here? There's the Holly Jolly Christmas grift. There's the Amazon gift grift. There's the fence, the barn. The
hardware, lumber.
Now the thing,
what child wants hardware and lumber?
Well, don't
hardware and lumber.
The camper grift from the hurricane.
Oh, the huge two camper grifts.
Camper grift, divorce grift.
Jamie's, Lloyd's.
Mm-hmm. There's a divorce grift too, because the people in Northport all believed that Lynette left town with the baby and without John. And they gave her money to do that because she was going to be a single mom. And they believed that she was getting away from an abusive situation. And they had no idea that he went with her until this all came up now. So I have one other bit of information from the Northport source. And this is so bizarre. I mean, this whole thing, well, I don't know, maybe I should save it for Tuesday.
You decide what you want to do.
You can save it till Tuesday. There was a car grift. There was a storage unit locker grift.
Several car grifts. Several.
All right,
saying I'll give you this.
Involved. And then, the other grift is John is giving me money to put down.
Amazon. So the Amazon gift thing, the Amazon gift. And I said from the beginning, I said, I don't know about this. I feel like she's going to turn around and take those toys and sell them. That's what I think might happen, is that the toys, because there's so many, and like, where are they going to put them in this tiny shed? And, it just didn't make sense to me. Well, the Northport source says that Lynette used to have garage sales, a lot of them. And she also asked on the Facebook pages to raise money to buy toys for her grandchildren that she had custody of at the time. And the source went to one of her garage sales one time. And she said the state of her house was such a disaster, and she couldn't bear to be in there. It was very trashed, and it smelled like animals, because at the time...
What do you think we smell when we drive by, when we've been on the property? It's horrific.
She was breeding dogs, breeding, lizards. She just had all kinds of stuff in the house. But the most important part here is that the source says that the toys that she had been asking people on Facebook for the children were being sold at the garage sale.
Wow.
Hey,
and
you want to
ask her about it?
That's crazy. You want to hear more crazy? So in the Walrus's live stream last night, so we bought the 70-acre ranch.
Oh, a local saw her selling it at the flea market this weekend.
Well, there you
selling
go.
What?
She already did this weekend. So Kasha Ward is a local. She lives in Chiefland. She said she's already did this weekend at the flea market.
Because she has
Kasha and her husband are locals here in Chiefland, where the flea market is, and they go to the flea market. So
it would be interesting to get some, photographs of what's being sold. Is it the same stuff on the Amazon list? Listen, you've got grifters and con artists and thieves and, all coming together to make it is the definition of RICO. It is a criminal, seems like a criminal organization to me. The
funniest part is it's scammers scamming scammers. That's I mean, it's sick, but at the same time, it's hilarious. And so here's
funny for you, because they're determined to make a name for themselves off of you, and it is working. It's working. It's giving them.
There's a lot of people determined to make a name off of me. So when we bought the 70 acres, we bought it from Tina Harley. Okay. Now Tina is one of 8 kids. The 8th child actually passed away, and so there were 7. So the property was mom and dad's. It was put into a family trust, and none of the kids could afford to actually buy the property. And Tina and Brian, her husband, actually have 1 acre in front of the property that dad actually portioned off. They sold us the property illegally, and the way that it was illegal was known encroachments. 2 of them. One was them, and one was some crackheads. And
she openly admitted it on camera.
And we have it all on camera. We have the entire conversation on camera. She knows about the encroachments. They illegally sold us the property, and it was illegal sale because they knew about the encroachments. They did not disclose the encroachments. As such, there are 7 kids. I have yet to actually pursue legal action against the 7 kids, even though every single one of those 7 kids should have shared that with me. We all know statute of limitations. I have up to 10 years. I've owned the property for coming up on, in a couple of weeks, will be 4 total years so far. So Tina and Brian are in the Walrus's chat last night. And for me, I've been so gracious. They have screwed me over. I have not sued. And here's what happens. When you buy a piece of real estate property and it's sold to you with undisclosed encroachments, you sue them, you still own the property, and they have to give you all the money back. So when I sue them, I get all the money back and I own the property because they did it illegally with known intentions. And I've been so gracious, and they've been nothing but horrible. And I've been so gracious. And here's the straw that breaks the camel's back. They're talking trash in the Walrus's live stream last night that we have and we can go to court with. And what does Brian call himself? Brian calls himself the finger guy because he's the one who actually chainsawed the property, destruction of property. He trespassed,
the fence,
then destroyed my property, and I've yet to press charges. And I think this is the straw. I'm going after all 7 of the kids. This is ridiculous. I'm so sick and tired of these freaks. And that's what it is. They're freaks.
It's unfortunate what's going on there. It's unfortunate that people don't just get along and be nice. And it's interesting because, look, Lynette seems to have gotten away with, Lynette and John seem to have gotten away with this, but Lynette longer than John, for many years in different states. And I've been tracking Lynette's actions through Iowa and other places, right? Germany, Iowa, Florida, in several cities in Florida, Rotunda, Naples, Northport, Otter Creek.
Hold a second. Are you talking about Lisa Rapuzzi and Gabe Weeks? Or are you talking about Lynette and Crook? Because this is all sounding the same. They scam
Lynette.
and move, scam and move, scam and move, scam
but
and move.
The most disturbing part about it to me is the child factor. So
Absolutely.
HG has had many different names. In Northport, the people there knew her as Baby Grace. In another part of it,
Olivia, there was an Olivia.
Mila. There's another some people know her as Mila. Some people. So here's the scary part. If the child is not sick, and this is a case of, it could be medical abuse, it could be, for attention, doing these things for attention. And if that is the case, that is a type of abuse, right? It is. And many people go to jail for it. And if it's like in the Gypsy Rose situation, although perhaps less intense, but still the same concept, right? If the child has a feeding tube and is not sick, that's another thing that's really scary. That's a surgery. That's an implanted device in a child. And the witness statement that I have is incredibly detailed with more information about those types of things. And if that's the case, and we have all these name changes and moving, when CPS or DFS is called by neighbors, by people who see this and who are concerned, DCF, if different names are being used, have no way of connecting Baby Grace,
like you can
Baby Grace to HG. I guarantee you that she was not, whatever calls were made in Northport, don't get connected to what was done in Otter Creek. And so, and also, are they going to Iowa?
You can't connect.
Are they looking at Iowa?
You can't connect the dots with all the names like you can on Connecticut, the dots right here.
Connecticut.
Just throwing that out there.
When you guys were reading the deposition, this is like off the subject, Bruce himself used the terms connect the dots. And we didn't even know that prior to launching that activity.
Perfect.
This tool makes it too easy. Just makes it too easy.
Yeah, remember when Shara said, Shara had that text about giving the baby melatonin in the feeding tube? Well, the news source says that Lynette told her directly she was giving the baby Benadryl to sleep. You can't give a baby Benadryl to sleep. You cannot do that. You cannot. And the source said to her, you can't do that. What do you mean you're giving her Benadryl to sleep? And she said, well, otherwise she cries and she's upset. And the doctor said it was fine. And the source said, no, I'd like to see that doctor's report that says that's fine, because you don't do that. That's not okay for a baby. Then there's these new screenshots. I know some of you have seen them. Those are from the source that I have been speaking to. One of them, she gets the medicines mixed up. She says the baby's on Adderall, and Adderall is a stimulant. She says the baby's sleeping too much because of the Adderall they put her on. No one has put that baby on Adderall. It was a different drug. I don't remember the name of it now. And there's a private text with someone saying, you must mean this other thing, because that's not it. But there's an awful lot of, strange things around this kid and her medical condition that is concerning. It should raise a whole lot of red flags for a lot of
Huge. And the fact that somebody such as Deuce just ignores it, yells, screams at Shara, according to Shara, cusses Shara out when she brings up concerns. My goodness, what a horrible human being. Mm-hmm. The fact that these walruses, they're not reporting what they're seeing, eyewitnesses. I mean, number one, that may mean that they think it's okay. And if they think it's okay, who in their right mind would send money to these fools? Okay. And number two, if they're supposedly protecting the child, why aren't they actually out there protecting the child with all these massive concerns?
And
that's very interesting. I've seen CPS take kids from moms who were following doctor's orders, and they said they were medically, abusing them, and the doctors were giving the orders. So I don't really understand. And they're saying that they're getting too many medical procedures. I don't understand, other than politics, why CPS has been out, or DFS has been out 28 times and have they ever looked into the actual medical records, or are they just taking her word for it? My biggest question right now is, do the medical records reflect the actual medical records from Northport where the baby was born? Do they actually reflect what Lynette says the baby has? And if they don't, that's a real problem.
Do we have proof that they've actually been out there that many times? Or is this a fabrication that she's saying herself, or that Deuce is saying herself? But with this recent Christmas event, why not just debunk herself by inviting all these other people and children to be around the child?
To bombard her too much.
Whoa. Okay, Kasha just sent me. All right, so Chief Lynn Flea Market, they do a live every Saturday, and Kasha just sent me the video of their booth.
You just had to package it off. Amazon and Walmart prices store. They got toys. They got clothes.
Okay, well, we need to check and see if those were the things. Are those the things that the people sent them? You need to take screenshots of those, Jeremy, so we can look up the toys and match them to the Amazon wish list. There's another Amazon wish list, by the way. They're starting a new one, another one. I don't know how many toys this kid needs, because there was just the giant thing that they did for Christmas, but this is clearly not for one child.
Huh. How do you feel? I'm going to transition just a little bit, because the walruses, which, again, we're not going to use their real name. We are not going to promote them by any stretch of the imagination. So, number one, they've been threatening lawsuits against you. How do you feel about that?
For what? I mean, for what? Reading public documents?
Good response. Good response.
Anybody can sue anybody for anything, and they can try if they want to, but I would recommend against it. First of all, New York State, where they would have to sue me because I live in New York. New York State has an excellent anti-SLAPP law that was just updated and strengthened in 2020. And if you file, I actually don't even want to tell them this, so I'll just say this.
This is my one issue with you and Tug, okay? I love you guys, but I can't stand that you actually give Deuce tips and you do his work for him, and you tell him where he failed, and then you tell him how to succeed, which he's not succeeded on anything. That's the only.
He doesn't take my advice.
So don't.
Yeah,
I'll just put it this way.
I'm not that concerned. And I don't think that they should do it. I don't think there's anything to sue me for. What are they going to sue me for? Reading public documents? It's not my fault that
they broke the law.
evicted from her apartments 7 or 8 times. It could be 7, could be 8. 1 might be 2, 2 might be 1. I don't know. We'll figure that out at some point. But
So-
7 or 8 evictions is not my fault. And it's
Let me-
not a secret. It's not a state secret. Okay. If it's public
information.
record, it can be talked about.
All right, so let's dig into that. Number 1 is public record. Okay. Number 2, you have an individual who has defrauded individuals, taken their money, and the money's all
Right.
gone, and doing hard rugs. Money's gone. You got another individual who's married, or maybe not married, who doesn't take each other's name. I don't know. It's 2025. Who knows anymore? But yet they're together. One individual is taking people's money and it's gone on rugs. The other individual isn't paying the people the money that they're supposed to be paying. So really, can they even afford a lawyer, or is Deuce going to come to their rescue and screw it all up like he has for Lynette?
I don't think he will. I don't think he
Nor
can
can
afford
he.
it. I don't think he can afford it. I think they're counting on the people that they're taking advantage of right now to continue taking advantage of them, to pay for them to do these things, to continue harassing and stalking and doing whatever it is they're going to do. And they're so far they've been pretty successful at doing that. There's enough people who are buying their story and giving them money. Now the question remains, can they save it for a lawyer, or will it go up Gabe's nose? Who knows?
Who knows?
I don't know, but he
Emphasis on knows.
he certainly had enough of a problem that he could not stay away from the rugs long enough to get a sweetheart deal with the prosecutor who was going to let him off by joining
Oh my
that
goodness.
program.
He got such a great get out of jail free card.
He
and
did.
it screwed it all up. Screwed it all up.
He did.
Wow.
And, they keep on threatening that they're digging into my past. Well, there's nothing there. I mean, I'm sure that's why they keep failing, because there's nothing there. I'm pretty square. I've told people everything there is to know about me. And and even so, I don't begrudge people making mistakes, and people who even have arrests or have gone to jail or whatever, because people can change. So to me, digging into someone's past is not relevant until it is, and it became relevant when donors to their cause started asking questions, and those questions were not answered. They need to be transparent.
They told everybody to dig into their past. They told everybody. So here's the one thing I do want to share. Okay, so individuals out there, that Lisa is being added to the federal court case. Now, if the magistrate, and I don't see this happening, but if the magistrate says, nope, we're not going to add Lisa to the court case, honestly, she's still not out of court. So the plan beforehand, and I have no problem sharing this, the plan beforehand, you're going to be sued in civil court for defamation and tortious interference of business. But if we can put it in the federal cases, which is where it belongs, because now it's very clear, Shara's deposition and all the information and all the evidence has come through, this is a conspiracy of defamation that others are involved in as well. So if the magistrate says, nope, not added, doesn't matter, she's going to be hit with a civil lawsuit, so will Robbie. They'll all be hit with a civil lawsuit here in Florida anyway. So they're going to have a lawsuit no matter what. No matter what, they are going to be in court, no matter what. So for them to sit there and say they're going to sue you, hey, good luck. Megan hasn't done anything wrong. The only individuals that have done anything illegal is them. Freedom of speech is free, and you can say whatever you want until you break the law, and defamation is breaking the law. And here's something else they said. I want your take on this. They said this last night, and I have screenshots of it for federal court as well. And so they said Megan should get creative with her own content instead of continuously stealing my content. Now, is this or is this not an admission that she's covering my life for content, when Deuce is trying to say that I'm covering my life with stalkers and harassers and extorters and tortious interferers for content? And here she is claiming it's for content. Yay or nay?
It sure sounds like it. Yeah, it sounds like it. And also notice that she made a big deal about how they were the only ones to have it. They had exclusive access to this public document. And I was like, no, you don't. You don't. It's not exclusive. It's public. It's a public record. I don't think they know the difference. I don't think they understand what exclusive content means. But yeah, I mean, she's admitting it there. It's content. Now, look, public court cases have always been content for my channel. That is true. That is true. I use public court cases as content, but also as educational value for my audience, as well as entertainment. We love to talk about the law. And one of the reasons why we do is because we love the law. I love the law in this country. I believe we should follow the law. I believe that we should uphold the laws. And I believe that we should hold people accountable in court.
But wait, here's the difference. You and
Well,
you
she's a reporter
understand the
for
law.
20+
They
years.
are so incompetent. They have no grasp whatsoever on the law. All right, Megan, we thank you for being here. Your big show, you're going to talk about Lisa's past and everything. That's going to be on Tuesday on Megan Fox Investigates, right?
Tuesday night. That's right. 8
Yeah.
p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tug will be there, and we will have we will go over it, and we're going to show the receipts. Please always notice that those hate channels don't show you receipts. They
Nothing.
they
They show
yap,
you-
yap, and they complain, and they state things that they don't
And they
back
go,
up, and they cough in microphones when they should hit the mute button. I don't know why they can't find the mute button, but it's very easy.
She did it. She knows. Megan knows how to use the mute
It's
button.
right there. It's right there. It's there. They use StreamYard. I don't know why they don't hit that mute button. It's maddening. But yeah, I just so you know, guys, everybody out there, if they're not showing you receipts, and I want you all to make up your own mind. I want to show you the evidence that I have, and I have my own opinion. You're all welcome to think whatever you want to think, but I hope I give you enough information to make up your own mind about what is and what isn't a good investment for your money.
Yeah, absolutely. We are called to be wise stewards of our funding and to fund somebody else's addiction, to fund somebody else's frauds. That is not being a wise steward by any stretch of the imagination. And Megan, we appreciate your wise stewardship and your friendship. We've grown to love you. And even though the walruses have said that we are all going to fight and hate each other, and yet here we still are together.
That's never going to happen. You have me on your stage now.
Yes,
Look.
yes, we do. And we are trying to save your hamster.
And you're going to
tonight.
save my hamster too. Look at
So
the
with
little
that-
box.
Megan, we'll see you Tuesday night. I bid you adieu.
Good
Bye-bye.
night.
So we are going to save Megan's hamster tonight, and we've got some other things. We are giving away $100
As a
tonight.
buyer's appreciation.
And next Sunday, do not miss tomorrow's video, because tomorrow's video is going to show you the gold that you're going to receive. And come to find out, it's going to be more than $1,500 free gold we're giving away in next Sunday's Whatnot auction. Whatnot asked us to pull it back a week so they could promote and share with people. They've never had anybody go, hey, you know what? Here's a bunch of gold. And so we've got some other things tonight. George, what do we got that we're looking at tonight?
Yeah,
That
so-
they can win $100.
We have not only do we have a bunch of stuff that's going up for auction, all starting at $1. We also have some things that you can purchase in our Buy It Now store.
You can even purchase the shirts off our backs.
Again, we are going to be auctioning off the shirts at the end of the auction, but some things that you can purchase in our Buy It Now in order to be able to enter the chance to win that $100 giveaways. You can get our limited January Blame Jeremy. If your internet is down, blame Jeremy. There's a cell tower on the 70-acre ranch in Otter Creek. It comes with the January and February calendar.
If you're failing in federal court like Deuce, blame Jeremy.
You can save a straw.
They
You guys
need
all
saving.
remember the depot of Lynette. You can also get some bubbles that come with instructions.
Hey, Bubbles, blow me.
You can
Yeah,
also, if
yeah.
your anxiety is over the roof,
Oh, by the
you
way,
get your own porta potty
the-
to squeeze.
We were told that the porta potty was only there for the event, and yet to this day, the porta potty is still there. Lies.
If you
Lies.
want to save a mask,
Oh,
save
the
a
whole
mask.
mask lie. The whole mask lie.
Yes.
Yep. The
save
whole mask
save a
lie.
mask, save the animal, save the
Okay.
child.
Yep, we got that.
You can get your own little 5-gallon mini bucket.
You never have enough of those.
And it comes
When you
with
got
like a
to
little
go.
turtle plush, and there's some goodies,
You got to
prizes
go.
on the inside. You can also get your own macaroni and cheese crayon.
We've got mac and cheese crayons.
We do, and
Oh,
it
man.
comes with an activity booklet. You can color the front where it says, I simply do not have enough crayons to explain this to you.
We sold out in 15 seconds
We
last
did. It comes
Sunday.
with the word search, and you can connect the dots on the back.
Connecticut, the dots.
Because if you know, you know knows.
All right, you can win $100 tonight. George, why don't you go ahead and get set
you
up?
can also save a walrus.
Oh,
and you can
they
save,
definitely need saving.
You can save an otter.
Yeah, those need saving as well.
And you can save a little mini turtle if you don't want the bucket.
All right, here's my phone.
But I'll see you guys on Whatnot.
Georgia's got to set that up in 10 seconds. We're on a schedule. She's got 10 seconds. She's taking the $100. You guys can win the $100 here tonight. Next Sunday, we are giving away over $1,500 in gold. We're doing a coin, paper money, silver, gold auction next Sunday. It is going to blow your mind. Some of the things in my collection that I'm sharing and selling to help pay with our legal fees. We're at $245,000 already. We haven't even set foot into federal court for the actual trial, the jury trial. And so much is still going on. And we are going to bless you as you continue to bless us. Somebody's going to win $100 and somebody's going to win over $1,500 in gold next Sunday. So jump in the chat. It should be pinned in the comment already, pinned in the comment. And if it's not, go ahead, mods, jump that in there. But I believe it's already pinned in the comments as well. Our Whatnot link. We're going to jump over there right now. We've got over 25,000 people following us there right now. We have a ton of fun. We're going to have more fun here tonight, and somebody's going to win $100. And you do not want to miss next Sunday, where somebody is going to win over 50. I'm just going to tell you the amount: $1,660 in gold, which could be worth $3,000 in a year's time. Don't miss it. We're jumping over there right now. Come on over. Let's have some fun. And let's see, what's that thing I want you guys to always do? Oh, yes. Stay weird, my friends. Stay weird.